Hi, OP friends. Another obligatory sleep report. I'm not in the best mood today, and I feel like it's hard for me to snap out of. I'm I'm not having the best day, and I think my mood and emotions dictate everything, and so it's really hard for me to turn off, even though I wish I could be one of those people that just is able to just say stop it and put on a happy face and the show must go on. I've never been able to do that. This is going to be a difficult video for me to record, but I'm going to do my best. I wanted to talk today about criticism and why is it so hard for INFPs to take criticism. And this is something that is well known about INFPs. Something about criticism, we just tend to, it just shatters us. It shatters us, and we're seen as these delicate little snowflakes who can't take criticism. And I wanted to talk about that. If you guys are joining me for the first time, I come from the Myers-Briggs world where I am trained and certified. And in that world, I am an INFP. And I am currently looking into objective personality type and learning about it and trying to see where I line up in the 512 OP personality types. My unofficial typing to date is MF, SIFI, sleep, consume, blast, play. But I am speaking to Benjamin at the moment, and his initial assessment is that he sees MF, FESE, or MF, TESE. And this is really hard for me to accept and to take, but I'm going into this with an open mind, knowing that the definitions of functions in Myers-Briggs and in OP are very different. And so in Myers-Briggs, your type is what you identify with and how you see the world. But in OP, your functions are really what you're respecting and what you ultimately feel responsible for. And so that's why if you're going from Myers-Briggs into OP, it's just a very traumatic experience. So if you want to follow my journey of going from Myers-Briggs into OP, you can watch my journey from day 1, and today is day 16. Okay, back to the topic of criticism. I think that the reason why it's so difficult for INFPs to take criticism is because we are so aware of every single one of our shortcomings, and for someone else to say it is like, first of all, we already know that and we're already insecure about it. I'm just so self-aware that when criticism comes my way, it's almost like that person is magnifying it. And because of that, I feel all I can get out of the situation is not, just extracting the criticism and trying to use it to improve. But in the moment, all I see is that person telling me how shitty I am. All of the bad feelings that I have about myself inside, it's almost like that person is just confirming it and validating that, yeah, I'm I'm bad at this, or I'm shitty. That's that's sort of why I'm not in the best mood today. This is something that I need to confront within myself in order to grow as a person. And so today, my husband basically told me that I'm spending way too much time on my videos, and which, yes, he's correct. Like at the beginning of this journey, I was just going straight from my recording into uploading. So at most, it took me 45 minutes to an hour from beginning to end. And then I was able to just continue on with my day. But now, as I'm getting more invested into this project, I'm taking about, 30 minutes to record and then trying to do my homework. And then I'll spend hours at night editing. And the thing is, I know it's not necessary. It's something that I enjoy because I love OP. I love personality typing, and I have a lot of fun with this, but something I need to deal with in my life is that when I start a new project or find something that I love, I do tend to go all in excessively, overly excessively at the expense of everything and everyone else in my life. So I know this about me. I know this about me. And that's why in the past few videos, I talk so much about my struggles with rearranging my priorities and my calendar, because I know it's a glaring problem for me. So it's not like I don't know this. It's something that I know is a very big shortcoming for me. And so to hear it was very hard. Another thing really that really hurt is that he said, not only are you spending all this time on your videos, but he said it's the same thing over and over again. And he's referring to all of the instances in the past where I have just gone overboard on things just at the expense of everything else in my life that falls apart. And this is a very big issue for me. I don't know if it is for other INFPs too, but just managing the day to day of my life is something that I struggle with. It's something that I talk about a lot. Almost in every video of me answering OP questions for typers, that is the number one issue that I bring up. Because I'm so aware of it, and because it's an issue that makes me really insecure, because I feel like everyone else in life by now has figured out how to manage their time and their priorities, but I have such a hard time doing that. And so I feel like a failure. I feel like a baby that I can't just figure it out. I've always thought there was like something wrong with me, in a sense where, if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and at the very bottom, it's all like, just physical needs like food and shelter and water, and then as you go up, it goes into self-actualization. But I always felt that my hierarchy of needs was flipped, and that I was always more concerned with the self-actualization at the expense of everything else. And I can't tell you how many books I've read, how many videos I've watched, just anything I can do to get this stuff under control. And so I think that when he said that, like, it just really sucked. I know that he's coming from a good place. He's looking out for us, and basically he's telling me that I am spending way too much time. And he is someone that has a lot of visibility over his time, over his resources, over his priorities. And so I know that everything he's saying is to help me. And so I understand where he's coming from. And he doesn't say that from a bad place at all. But it's just one of my insecurities that I thought I was working really hard to fix, especially by changing my recording and homework and editing schedule this week. So it's crazy how something like that can immediately just I don't want to say ruin my day, but it's really hard for me to stop identifying with the bad parts of criticism. Like, can you guys relate? And I think what makes it even harder is that this is something that brought me so much joy. So I need to somehow balance the INFP side of me that wants to go all in and to just follow what I want to do versus what I know is reality and what I should be doing. And so that has been a constant struggle and issue for me in my life. So I feel the responsibility of being true to myself and doing what I love, but also balancing that with not upsetting the other people in my life. And so I need to take some time to figure out my schedule and to maybe even cap my editing hours so that I'm only allowing myself 30 minutes to record and maybe an hour to edit, and that's it. And if I can do that, then I can still manage to keep my grades up. I can still manage to get my work done, cook and clean, and to exercise and to take care of myself. This is an ongoing struggle for me, and it's something that where I'm probably gonna spend the rest of my life trying to manage this and trying to manage my life and trying to figure this out. I always joke around and say that I can't get my shit together, that I can't get my life together, and I say it as a joke, but it's true. It's the truth. This is one of my biggest struggles. But because I love doing this so much, I feel a motivation to get it under control in a way that I've never felt before. Where before it was always so short-lived, where I would tell myself, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna change my schedule, and then it would just all fall apart because I have a problem with consistency and things that are repetitive and mundane. And the thing with this video is that I was actually so proud of myself because for so many reasons. Because, first of all, I can't do things consistently. And so the fact that I even made it to 16 videos is like a really big deal to me. And it's a big deal to me because I'm an insecure person and I was doing this to better myself and to become better at speaking and connecting and to be okay with showing myself and my face and to get over all of my self-esteem issues and just body dysmorphia and all of that. This is not an easy thing to do, but I recognized immediately the benefits that it brought to me in terms of my mindset and my motivation and my willingness to accept myself as I am. And anyway, I just wanted to share that and see if there are any other INFPs who also struggle with criticism and also time management. In my situation, when you combine both time management and criticism, is when I fall apart inside. It's funny too that while he's saying these things, it feels like a knife in my heart, but I'm not even able to articulate and express that. And instead, I am just fighting back tears and I run away because I don't want to break down crying. But to the other person, of course, it seems like I'm just giving them the silent treatment and running away when that's not it at all. And I wonder if you guys relate. I think going forward, I need to be more realistic about this channel and about my personal life and goals outside of this. And so what I think I'm going to do is to figure out how I can shrink down the time that I spend on this without compromising or without having to give it up, because I don't want to give it up. I don't. To change the topic and to something a little bit more positive, this morning my husband and I put up this giant whiteboard that we split up into sections, and we wanted to use this whiteboard to make sure that we're staying on top of our goals and our tasks and things that need to get done. And it's really funny to observe the differences in mindset that we both came into this with. So when I was thinking that we were going to put up the whiteboard, initially I was just thinking that we were going to split it down the middle and have, like my section where I write down all the things that I need to do, chores that I'm not remembering to do, just getting back to certain people. Those things tend to slip my mind so easily. And so for me, I thought it was going to be sort of this interactive dashboard where I could put things down and make sure that I cross them off every day. I also just watched some of the videos by Dave and Shan about the wheelbarrow approach, where basically they will write down 3 wheelbarrow tasks. And a wheelbarrow task is something that you don't have to like it, you don't have to want to do it, but it has to get done. So those are wheelbarrow tasks, and they set up 3 for themselves every day that they have to cross off no matter what. And I think that that's something that I, as an INFP, wanted to start doing in my life is what are the 3 wheelbarrow tasks that I don't necessarily want to do, but I need to get it done in order to move forward in a project or to take care of myself, take care of the home. And so that's kind of the mindset that I went into it with. And I was very surprised to see that my husband had actually come into it thinking that the board was going to be more for our long-term goals and making sure that we stay on path to meet those goals. From his perspective, the long-term goals was something he wanted to have visually up so that we are always looking at it and we are always holding ourselves accountable for it. And for him, he puts everything on his calendar. So even the little small tasks is all mapped out on his calendar so that he knows he has to get it done. So for him, he has no need for a whiteboard for those small tasks. But my mind doesn't work that way, and for me it's like pulling teeth to get me to manage my calendar. It's very hard for me to do. From that perspective, I've always been that kind of person that I will always just have paper and pen to write down what I need to do and then cross it off. So for him, he was thinking, well, why can't you use your calendar to manage that? And then we'll use this for long term. It was very interesting to see the distinction in how we were approaching this. But we did come to a good compromise. And the board, half of the board is going to be our long-term goals and the short-term goals in order to achieve those. The other half of the board is going to be split up top and bottom with our tasks. So I do still have that space to be writing down, getting back to certain people. Just there's so many things that I've been meaning to get around to and I haven't. And so I think it'll be motivating for me to implement that wheelbarrow approach where I write down 3 things that I don't necessarily want to do, but I need to just do it. I'm very excited that we have this new whiteboard system to try out. I don't have any updates today on my OP journey per se. I thought maybe this would be a good chance to tell you more about myself and my inner states and, just my struggles as an INFP. So, is this stuff that you INFPs also struggle with? Do you guys also struggle with criticism? Do you guys also struggle with time management? Do you guys extra struggle when those 2 forces are combined and you become criticized for your time management? Because oof, that really hurts. But interestingly, I feel a lot better because I was able to articulate it here and talk about it instead of just holding it in and feeling all the bad feelings and continuing to be in a bad mood for the rest of the day. Because I was able to get it out, I actually feel better. And I know that this is something that this is going to be my life's work to figure out. And no matter how difficult, no matter how uncomfortable it is, I need to figure it out. I need to figure it out. Okay, well, thank you again for watching my ridiculous videos, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.